Well, first of all, I'm very honored to be on the stage here at Paul Quinn talking about education, as you are a shining example of a community of learners. An educated city is foundational, and schools of excellence and equity promote social justice and generate boundless life chances for all. Our project brings together three powerful components. The power of teachers. A great teacher, even in a less effective school or less effective district, makes learning happen. The power of stories. What is more quintessentially human? Stories connect us more deeply to ourselves and to each other. And the power of technology, which accelerates and expands our connection, our analysis, and our impact. We're facing a problem today in public education. Too few great people enter the profession. And of those who do, too few stick. As you can see, almost 50% of teachers who come into teaching leave within 5 years. According to the Gallup State of America School in 2014, the reasons are fairly clear. 70% of K-12 teachers do not feel engaged. And what that means is that their students don't feel engaged either. Of all professionals, K-12 teachers were least likely to agree that my opinion at work counts. Our project addresses that issue. So here is our detailed plan. Phase 1 is about collecting and analyzing data. We will invite the 30,000 plus public school teachers in Dallas County to engage with us and share their stories using their mobile devices, using their own natural spoken language. Those stories will then be analyzed for themes and emotion, and those analytics then create actionable insights for school and district leaders. In phase 2, which is about outcomes, the data from these stories will be shaped into tools for superintendents, colleges of education, boards of trustees, and others who will shape policy and practices which become better because of these stories and because of these insights, and create greater engagement and greater effectiveness in our schools. And finally, because this is also about empowerment and voice, of those stories from 10,000 teachers that we collect, we will provide a stage for the top stories so that they truly do have a platform and a stage, maybe even this stage. Phase 3 is about expansion and replication. While we're starting with teachers, because that's a huge leverage point, we also want to collect stories from students, public school students, and or current recent graduates. We want to engage with parents and collect their stories as well. And we want to move beyond North Texas to capture stories from more teachers. In fact, we see replicating this nationwide. Here's phase 1 in a little bit more detail, and I'm happy to say we can check the box on a lot of these. Number 1, we've determined the demographic information that we want to capture. Number 2, we're preparing a video clip that will frame the context for teachers, who we are and why we're asking these questions. And number 3, appreciative inquiry is the approach that we're going to use. What are the things that are working and how do we get more of that? So our questions are, tell us about a time you felt really effective as a teacher. What contributed to that? Number 4, of course, gaining support from superintendents. We have a meeting on the books with the 16 superintendents in Dallas County within the next couple of weeks to get their approval to go forward with this. And finally, number 5, collecting those stories through mobile devices and analyzing them using an advanced platform. In fact, the technology that we will use is the PulseM technology that's being used here today that so effectively captures the thoughts, quotes, and emotions of conference attendees and our teachers, students, and parents that we will engage with. So this is how it'll work. Teachers will receive an email from their superintendent with a link that they can click on, and they will be asked to tell their story about when they felt effective and what led to that. Their stories will be analyzed for theme, emotion, mood, and then, as I said, we will prepare white papers, briefings, and suggestions for decision makers, for teachers who participate, a summary of responses, and a stage to present their stories, for the general public, a case study. Here's our phase 1-2 schedule and our ask. We've already taken care of business, laid the foundation. We plan to collect the stories and analyze the data in December of 2015, and in the first quarter of 2016, go forward with the reports and presentations. Our budget is $39,900. We are hoping and hoping to get the $20,000 here today, and we'll fundraise as well to fill out the rest. Team is committed to moving forward. Our project begins with people and ends with people. And you can see the depth and breadth of experience on this team. That experience has led to expertise and know-how and capacity to take this project from conception to implementation and innovation and beyond. Even more important than the expertise, though, is our commitment and our strong belief in the power of equitable and excellent schools to change lives for the better. Thank you.
So if this project moves forward soon, tell me where you see your impact in 10 years. What are you really trying to achieve?
I think what we're really trying to achieve is the understanding that while schools are really truly about student learning, and that is always our focus, that student learning does not happen in an environment that is not healthy and enriching and energizing and engaging for adults. So I think we're very, very clear that teachers are the leverage point for better learning, better teaching, more engagement, both students and teachers.
Is there anybody else doing this kind of giving voice to teachers? I mean, I thought of one place, but I'm just curious of where you might have found other people doing this kind of work.
I don't believe so. Of course, school districts do surveys, which are bubble-in answers about school climate and that sort of thing, but we don't believe anyone else is using technology in this way to capture stories where, sorry, Tony, organic language can be spoken and analyzed. And also, I think a key piece here is we are coming from outside. And so I think there is probably more freedom to speak frankly and really share what is working. And I think the appreciative inquiry, which I will say SBP put us on that path to really ask, how were you effective? Let's get more of that. How did that happen? What contributed to that? So that approach, I don't think that I'm aware of is used in schools.
Thank you, Jennifer. My question is, how do you keep this from being a very, very interesting briefing or report, and just kind of sitting on a shelf somewhere and actually translating it to action?
I think that's a great question, and I think what's happened over the course of this project is it has gone from a project that really was about empowerment, which is very important in and of itself, but I think now is about impact. Because, of course, while the data will speak and say what the data will say, what I suspect will happen is that teachers will say something like, I had a really effective year when I was on a great team that collaborated. Or I had a really effective year when I knew what I was going to teach in September, in May. Or I had a really effective year when I had great professional development on my content. Or when I was able to invite parents of my struggling ninth graders in before school even started. So those are real tangible things. If boards hear that and superintendents hear that, our belief is that they will do some things differently.
Thank you, Dr. Parvin. Excellent.